Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. It is Follow the Money on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Happy Friday. Mitch Moss along with Pauly Howard. We're live in downtown Las Vegas from the Circa Resort and Casino. Action-packed 3-hour program coming up today. Great guest, Major League Baseball. First 5K numbers with Kevin Rogers in 30 minutes. Best bets on the UFC card with Lou Finocchiaro. Chris Massero on the program. Cross-sport parlays, NFL, and college football futures. And Jonathan Von Tobel on the NBA Summer League. Pauly, how you feeling today?
All right.
Good? Everything's all right?
All right.
Fired up for the weekend?
I'm glad I didn't pay $3,000 to watch Flag and Bronny James last night.
You're probably not the only one.
Fun. Yeah.
I'm going to guess that people who did are regretting that decision, and that probably happened as soon as the game was over with.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
10 points?
5 of 20, right? Did Dallas make a mistake? Did you see any of that?
I was hoping that people would actually say that on social media last night.
Now, why not after last night? But we got it with Wemby.
We got it with Wemby right away a couple of years ago.
I don't get it. What was Dallas thinking here? Come on, 5 of 20 shooting.
Like, they had to take him? Flag. He should have stayed at Duke. What was he thinking? Came out way too early here. He's not ready for the NBA.
Yeah.
But, that angle where we talked about it at the end, we should have been stronger on that, but we did bring it up. Also, it was very difficult for me to find his points prop listed at books here in Nevada before the game. That goes back now, that's 11 straight years where, because his prop was 18.5, 19.5 at some books anyway that offered it. It's at least 11 straight years, Pauly, where the number one pick in the draft has not gone over 18.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 of 21, not a great showing from him. I think the other stuff is what you're going to get a lot of during his rookie year. He might not go for 25 every game, clearly, but I think it's going to be like that stat sheet stuffer where he's going to have 8 rebounds, 5 assists, a couple of steals, and maybe a block or two as well.
Right, which what he did at Duke, so his player props are going to be interesting because you're talking about, because you get 8 boards, 5 dimes, a steal, and a block, absolutely. As he said, just winning plays and winning basketball after the game, and they hung on to get the win.
Yeah. Okay, so what'd you make earlier today with the semis over at Wimbledon on the men's side? I'd say we had a little bit of drama with the early match. Fritz and Alcaraz, although Carlos advanced in 4 sets, and then 0 drama in the last match. And if you didn't see it, Chris Fowler and John McEnroe, they were talking about it during the broadcast pretty much the entire time, and it was visible, obviously, when you were watching it. Joker was not even close to 100% today. He couldn't get the balls. The returns were not there. Old Joker, that stuff doesn't happen. So Sinner was dominant. And now the number on the match, definitely shop around, because here at Circa, Alcaraz in the finale is minus 125. DK has a minus 130. FanDuel is as high as minus 137 in the match, Pauly.
I have $1.60, which I played when it looked like Sinner was going to have issues against Shelton because of the injury after he was down 2-0 against Dimitrov. So your earlier point about Joker, 38 years old, he said afterwards, hopefully this isn't it. But up there in age. But I still like Alcaraz, and it's fitting that they meet again after the choke job and what happened at the French with an all-time bad beat if he had Sinner and the 66-1 in play on Alcaraz. But he would have his 6th title at the age of 22. He's 5-0 in major finals and going for his 3rd straight Wimbledon. I'm going to take the guy who's won 24 matches in a row. And I know...
you don't want the revenge angle from when... No, you don't? Sinner blew it?
No, so he was the best there, but he absolutely blew it and it should have won. But I don't know how big the surface is and how much of that plays a role into things with looking at this. But I think it's more advantageous for Alcaraz here. But I like what Zach Cohen said. He was right that Fritz got a set. He does play with his food a little bit. And as far as the drama, I mean, that's a 4th set tiebreaker. If Fritz is able to steal a couple points there, we'll go in 5 sets. So I'm not in love with it because certainly the elbow injury doesn't appear to be a problem at all.
No, he's been dominant the last 2 matches. But again, that also, Joker clearly, again, banged up a little bit today for the match. Overall, they have met 12 times on the ATP Tour. Alcaraz leads 8-4. He has won 5 straight matches over Sinner, by the way. The surface breakdown looks like this. On hard courts, Alcaraz is up 5-2. On clay, 3-1. On grass, Sinner 1-0 lifetime. Grand Slams, Alcaraz leads 3-1, and in finals, it's the same mark there. So like I said, it's 5 straight wins when these two meet for Carlos Alcaraz. They first met, well, there was actually a photo that I retweeted before the show. This is incredible. They met like when they were 15 years old. You should see how young they look. It's remarkable. I retweeted at Mitch Moss Radio right before the show started. But on the ATP Tour, they met at the 2021 Paris Masters, and Alcaraz won that. He was number 35 in the world at that time. Sinner was number 9. And that really, I think, was maybe probably not the first time, but in that area where like, oh boy, this guy is going to be something special. Then Sinner won 2022 Wimbledon, and then he won again on clay in 2022. At the U.S. Open, they met in the quarters. That's when Alcaraz beat him. They played at Indian Wells. They met a little bit all over the place. So there's the history of those two. But here's the deal, right?
Long could be a long match. I hope.
So do I.
That was an all-timer at the French, but I'm hoping for drama and maybe 5 sets. You can bet the other way, no drama. Sinner in straight sets is 5-1. Alcaraz is plus 450, and this just happened with Iga. Will someone win a set 6-love? 6-0 is plus 950. That's available.
Okay. Well, Luke was saying, our producer, that as soon as Alcaraz advanced today, DK posted up like the money line for the Wimbledon championship match, and he was $2. Mm-hmm. And so now it's down to minus 125 here at Circa anyway. But I think certainly with Sinner's recent play now in the last 2 matches with what you said, Pauly, correlated here, the injury doesn't appear to be impactful at all now.
Yeah. Yep. I'll trust the winning streak, though. You're right. You have the revenge angle? That's fine.
No,
this is how it's supposed to be. Because remember, when we previewed the tournament with Nigel, maybe you had like plus 150 and plus 175 with these guys to win. So this is what was supposed to happen.
So let me ask you this then. If you like Alcaraz here, betting him straight at this number, you said you have him at minus 160. Would you want to add another bet on him right now? And because you were very strong on Iga yesterday on the show, do you want to parlay him with Iga?
Yeah, I did that.
You did already?
I did that at Will Hill.
Okay.
I think that's. I'll look at what the price is. Yep.
That's got to be. That's definitely plus money.
Yeah, she was 240 when I bet it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that'll happen. I just think it's just too much to where you shock the number 1 player and then you got to come back and then beat someone else who's talented in top 10. I just think that's too big of an ask, especially for someone who was with that ranking and was out of the racket, but plays plus 150, who was out of the game for a year. So. But it'd be a great story, and another big ticket would cash for the women's draw if that happens.
I'd like to be able to bet on the time of the match on the men's side. Because when they met at the French Open, it was more than 5 hours, one of the longest matches in history. Would you take, if I set it at 3.5 hours, what would you want to do?
I'd go over that.
You would?
Yeah.
Is that wishful thinking?
Don't you think then we'll have a 7-6, go to tiebreaker at least, and 1 tiebreak? You can bet that too.
I mean, I would say that there's a good chance this is going to go to 5 sets.
Yeah, right. I prefer this back to the old days, right? I want to see long rallies.
Oh, 100%.
I want to see great. When we were growing up, Sampras, Agassi did that, but Sampras, Ivanisevic, it was just the serves were too good, and there were no rallies, especially with Ivanisevic, who wasn't, guys like that. But this is, I like to see it where you get the 16, 17 shot rallies like we had with a couple of Joker matches.
I mean, that's what makes the matches so exciting, right? I mean, the ace after the ace nonsense is that's no fun for anybody to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it's domination when a guy's going to go out there and serve it that fast and blow by you and you have no chance to respond. However, it doesn't make it very pleasing to the eyeballs.
Yeah. But this is why we love sports. Crazy things happen. Upsets happen. Look what happened in the Scottish Open. This guy got her up. Never heard of him. Nine birdies today. Guy shot a 61. He's your leader after 2 rounds. So it's a pretty cool leaderboard, but stories like that, and we love this racket.
I would say the weather is definitely cooperating over at that tournament, but that course, to me, looks absolutely beautiful on television. Like, that would be an awesome event to be at in person right now.
Yeah.
To soak that in.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. How about this? Our buddy, our 2 friends of the show here, Nigel Seeley, and then Evan, they're together this weekend. And they're watching all this stuff unravel at Wimbledon.
Would you wear a suit? How about the people who show up dressed like that? It's 87 degrees, too. Yeah. Apparently, they're dropping like flies.
Well, actually, Luke, do we know, what's the dress code?
You wear a suit to a tennis match and it's 90 degrees?
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that, which I think Bradley Cooper did that a couple times.
Tom Cruise, all the time.
I don't know. There was just one guy. It was a ton of people that were doing it.
What are you going to show up in a tank top?
Well, I'm not going to wear a suit. I wear that, put a polo on, something like that.
You're going to be
right?
having ice cream sundae dripping off your mouth?
Got that, right? Yeah, you have the Mariners last night? Huh? You have that one, too?
Oh, God.
How about that? How about Mariners and under? 5-0, getting no hit in the 8th, and the Yankees come back and win 11 straight overs. Get our NFL betting guide, over 90 pages, in-depth previews of every team, division breakdowns, best bets, player props, betting projections. Lock it in, our football special, 175 through the Super Bowl, every guide, every best bet, every host, every guest, the video, the dog videos, the data, and the tools. It expires at the end of the month. We're a couple weeks away from an actual game. Chargers, Lions, July 31st. Get it up. Get in there now, vsin.com/subscribe. Tell your family, tell your friends.
Well, I'll tell you this. For people who want to add more and more football bets to the portfolio, the guide, obviously, we recommend that as much as anything else that you're going to find. And later on today, when Chris Massero comes in, I asked him a couple of ideas to kick around on the show today. I think he sent me a text that was the size of the Bible. And he had, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm attacking in terms of the bets. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's got a lot of stuff there, pal. Yep. So you're going to love that when he comes up in about 90 minutes here on the program. We'll get into the Major League Baseball card coming up next. His numbers are at home are pretty much as good as it gets. Find out who it is next on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Good card today in Major League Baseball. Some sexy matchups with teams that are playing each other, including the Cubs at the Yankees, Pauly. Flexen is going today for Chicago, having a phenomenal season.
Yeah.
This is not a par for the course for this guy at all. And he's taking on Carlos Rodon. He is not, going back to Flexen here for a second, he has not pitched more than 4 innings in a single game this year. The numbers are terrific. 0.83 ERA, 0.86 whip. Here's a bet that I would be willing to take, that those numbers won't be close to that at the end of the season.
He was the worst pitcher ROI last year. It's a fantastic turnaround. This seems too high. After the bad start that Rodon had last time out, Yankees 11 straight overs, total of 9, but to be $1.80, $1.90 against the Cubs can hit.
It's a big number.
Yep, and I think the Cubs can get to Rodon as well. Great series before the break. Yankees have scored 5+ runs in 9 games in a row, and no surprise, Judge owns Flexen.
Yep. So, Rodon against the Cubs, 80 against this current Cubs roster, 82 plate appearances, 34% K rate, 233 average, 274 WOBA. Those are really good numbers. At home this year, he is 5-3 in 9 starts with a 3.25 ERA and 10 Ks per 9. I will point this out with the Cubs. I went back and looked against lefties. Good month, not full season, but since June 1st, their WRC plus weighted runs created is 97. That is 17th overall in Major League Baseball. The WOBA is 306, not great, and they have a 23+% K rate against lefties as well. But again, that number, oh boy, that's a really, really big number against this offense.
Yeah. I can't get there. That was
runs tonight?
I was surprised by that too, and then also the total. But it's a good card tonight with some big prices.
I like it.
Yes, and some a lot of hot teams as well.
Well, have you bet the Giants yet?
Yep.
Okay.
Got it yesterday. That's too low. May on the road, terrible. ERA is 6. Webb so strong at home, and this would be the first 7-game losing streak for the Dodgers since 2017, I believe.
Yep.
Going back. So yes. I think the Giants take them out as well. And don't look now. This division becomes intriguing if they're able to take 2 out of 3 here with how the Dodgers are playing. So
Webb's the guy that I was talking about before the break. At home, 9 starts, 4-1, almost 60 innings pitched. The ERA is 1.52. The whip is 1.11. When he pitches at home at night, the numbers are even better. He has 6+ innings pitched or 18+ recorded outs in every home start but 1. So that was a fluke. It happened against that putrid Royals offense. He has allowed 0 earned runs 3 times at home, 1 earned run 3 times, and 2 earned runs 2 other times. against his current Dodgers roster. 210 plate appearances, about a 15% K rate, which is not high, a 303 average and a 361 WOBA. Two players specifically have good numbers for him on this Dodgers team. Freddie Freeman, lifetime 15 of 40, a home run and 3 doubles, and Mookie Betts. 395 batting average with a couple of homers and a couple of doubles as well.
Yep, there you go. I don't mind Mookie props as well. We have to go over in the Twins game. A couple guys starting on 4 days rest. 6.5. Skeens doesn't have a win since May 28th, but he's got an ERA of 1.55. Are you kidding? Get out of here. He'd be the 5th pitcher to start the All-Star game with a losing record. And now, after they had that great stretch and what they did against the Cardinals, they've lost 6 in a row and then been outscored 25-9. But can Joe Ryan and the Twins be this much against Skeens? Can he be $1.45?
Well, here's a question that I would be very curious about, and that is, how long do you think on 4 days rest, specifically here, the Pirates are going to let Skeens go out there? Again, he's coming off of a game where he had 10 strikeouts and they pulled him at 78 pitches. Again, because the break is now looming, both of these guys are pitching in the All-Star game. By the way, here at Circa, down to minus 133 on Minnesota, so a move there on the Pirates the way it looks. And Will Hill, VSiN host, I saw a tweet from him before the show, and it was in regards to the White Sox yanking their starter early today, I think at 46 pitches. I'll go back and double-check. And a great observation from Will. He said, be careful this weekend playing. I think it was basically playing any overs with pitchers because you don't know how long the leash is going to be in these games.
Good points.
Yep.
All fair.
So I don't know. Like, does Skeens go more than 75 pitches today?
Think it's that low?
It's been in that neighborhood the last 3 starts.
Okay. Yep. First 5 then, if the Pirates then.
Yes.
And there's a big difference on the line with that as well as the guys just showed. Skubal against Seattle after a heartbreak hotel. How do you lose that game? That's ridiculous how they blew that game. Yankees were the second team in the expansion era to be no hit through 7 and down 5+ runs, come back and win. Skubal last 16 starts, 10-0 with a 1.62, 138 Ks, 10 walks. $2.86 against Seattle and Castillo, total of 7. What are they going to do against this guy?
I mean, that is such a massive number, but I think it makes sense. You're exactly right. Castillo
props, all of I know.
Yeah,
he's
Castillo
so good.
On the road, not great at all. His numbers stink. Tigers at home have a really, really good offense, and then Seattle against lefties. Again, going back to like June 1st, they actually have good numbers overall. They're 5th in WRC plus, but they strike out 24% of the time against lefties. Mm-hmm. And this guy's been rocking and rolling now. Double-digit Ks won those last 2 starts, and he's 12-7 over his K prop on the year.
Uh-huh.
Is that kind of a cheap run line, by the way? When you look overall, they're touching $3 almost in the game, and Tigers' run line is minus.
Not bad, yeah. I like it, and I think they're going to give them some runs as well. And this is this the, I wouldn't say it's the fishy game, but I would say it's the be careful game because it's very popular. Already a 25-cent move on the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
They will be, assuming they get 1 win in this series or a Yankee loss, they will enter the All-Star break in first place for the first time since 1993.
When they won the World Series back-to-back?
Can you believe that? Yes.
Is that right? Wow.
Yes. So, it's Severino going, and the Blue Jays swept them in May and outscored them 39-18. The A's are 1-10 in the last 11 starts for Severino, and he's 0-8 with an ERA of 7 and 11 starts at home. The total, as you said, you gave that out right away yesterday. The total's up to 11. It was 10.5, and then as we talked about it yesterday at DraftKings, the Jays were $1.50. Mm-hmm. Now Scherzer is $1.75 on the road.
Yeah.
And in a team total, you would think those are just incredible numbers with how bad Severino has been overall and how bad he's been at home.
Yeah, he's been actually really good on the road for the most part, and he's been the exact opposite at home. So what's the play overall? Because I can't lay $1.75 with Max Scherzer going right now. I can't, won't do it, but I also want nothing to do with Severino at home. Mm-hmm. More comfortable with the Blue Jays on the run line, maybe? Are they going to win it by 2 or more runs? If you can find like a plus price on that.
Well, you called it the other day. You said 10-2 Red Sox. Is that the team total's 5.5 again? It's the same type of bet, right? I mean, I know
it is.
People were just betting team total and Red Sox on alt numbers against the Rockies, and it came in no problem. I mean, they're not going to get 6 runs?
No, they should erupt.
Yeah.
And by the way, they don't strike out. This is crazy, but opposing pitchers have had 11 straight starts to the under with their K-prop against the Blue Jays. They're like the best team in baseball not striking out. This has been a story pretty much the entire year. Severino's K-prop is 3.5. It's like minus 170 to the under. No way I'm taking the plus money on the over. But I think we can also expect runs from the A's in this game, can't we?
Yes. I think that'll happen as well.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. Yep. Texas got in at 5 in the morning. Be careful there. Bats came alive. They were great in Anaheim, but now they got in at 5 in the morning. They play Houston and McCullers. Senga back for the Mets since he went down. Second worst starter's ERA, tied for the worst record in baseball, 8-17.
Mm-hmm.
They're glad to have him back, and I like the Phillies again. Suarez is $1.65 in San Diego.
I know, that's such a big guy. I was hoping for a smaller number than that.
I know, but it's also how great this guy's been. 2 earned, allowed 9 straight. What he's done. So on the road, he's been great. And then St. Louis could be. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say his last start was only the second time. Speaking of Suarez here, only the second time all year long he did not record at least 18 outs. The other, his very first start of the year. So at 10 straight starts, he recorded at least 18 outs.
Yeah.
6+ Ks in 5 straight starts. But opposing lefties are 18, 10, and 1 under their K prop on the year against the Padres. So the Padres don't strike out against lefties. But over the last month plus, they're also not hitting the ball that well. WRC plus is 96, and the WOBA is barely above 300. So, again, I was hoping for a smaller number, but I'm with you. I do like the Phillies in this game tonight.
Nelson goes for the Diamondbacks, 3-0 with a 1.53 in his last 5 starts. Anderson and the Angels, $1.15 in that game, too.
And I don't know, it might not be a bad idea to bet the Reds on alternate run lines tonight as well.
Well, so they beat them 12 of 13, and they turned it around a little bit. They're only on pace to lose 125 games. But should the kid be laying this much? You say it wasn't his fault against the Red Sox. There was a big error in that first inning.
Right.
But Burns is 260. You think they touch up Mark?
Well, Marquez against this roster, 10% K rate and walk rate, 320 average, and a 475 WOBA. In this ballpark, the Reds should probably light him up tonight. We'll continue with baseball up next. Kevin Rogers on the program. He always comes loaded with some eye-popping first 5 numbers and K props. We'll dive into it coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It is a fun card tonight, Major League Baseball. We continue addressing the numbers right now as we head out to the Progressive guest line. Kevin Rogers joins the program. You can follow him on X at Rogers Picks. He's with PrizePicks as well. Kevin, good afternoon. Thanks for the time today. How are you?
Mitch, Paul, good to have you. Good to talk to you again. Back to be on your show. Good to talk to you again.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you. So let's begin with a game that we spent a couple of minutes on in the previous segment. Is the Blue Jays up to like $1.70, $1.75 favorites tonight on the road in Sacramento against this A's team. And Severino has just been a disaster at home. He's talking about it. He hates the ballpark. Who blames him, right? The Blue Jays, this is now, 11 straight games where the opposing pitcher has been under their K prop. Now, look at this. Severino is 3.5. Caesars has him under minus 184. ESPN bet moved to 2.5 Ks in the game. What do you make of the numbers tonight?
You said in the last segment, Mitch, that you can't see him going over his K prop, but I'm going to throw this number out at you that Luis Severino in 7 starts in Sacramento has 5 strikeouts or more this year. So he may not be great as far as keeping the ball in the park, but he has produced. So understandably, when you look at Toronto and what they've done now, 11 consecutive games where the opposing starting pitcher has stayed under their K prop, you got to think something's got to give sooner or later. And this is the first time that the Blue Jays are in the stadium that they're playing there. Also, I guess they're unrelated. In 7 of the past 11 games in Sacramento, A's pitchers have recorded at least 5 strikeouts. So maybe going to this new park, and you don't even need 5. What do you need? 3 or 4, depending on what you bet. I take a shot if you can get plus money on, or you're going to get plus money, but if you can get the over 3.5, I could see him maybe getting 4 tonight. That maybe the streak ends tonight. I understand you don't want to play contrarians to be contrarian, but I think you're getting enough value now where they're begging you and they know that Toronto's out. Maybe you take a shot where Severino has had success striking out batters, at least at home.
Okay, I'm seeing as high as plus 135 over 3.5 at DraftKings tonight.
I say take a shot. I mean, I would not say under 3.5 minus 170 or whatever it was that you said earlier. I just can't be convinced of that just because they're not going to go 25 straight games with the opposing pitcher going under. I got to think that it ends sooner or later. So with them going this low, and Severino has the ability to produce strikeouts, I would take a shot with the over. Not big, but I think I'd take a shot with the over.
How about the Nats and Brewers with Parker going against Hall?
I think he froze up. All right, we'll try to reconnect with Kevin here coming up in a minute. We'll also get into the Twins-Pirates game as well. 9 of 11 road starts in the first 5, 3 combined runs or less for Skeens. 4 of his last 5 starts overall in the first 5, the Pirates have scored 0 runs.
Guys are creatures of habit, though. It's when you're messing with rest, sometimes weird stuff happens.
I know.
Move them up, move them back, 6 days, 4, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I think we got Kevin back now. What you were asking about the Brewers game?
Yeah. Brewers-Nats?
You mentioned it, or I heard it before I got cut out there for a second, Pauly, that the Brewers with their they have not struck out a lot recently, 12-2-1 to the under in the last 15 games. Also for Mitchell Parker, who really has not been great. I remember a game last year that he faced the Brewers. He got racked in the first inning, gave 4 or 5 runs in the first inning. But his last few starts, 4, 3, 1, he's just not producing a lot of strikeouts. Had 8 against Colorado earlier, but everyone struck out the Rockies. So that's the deal. But I'd say you have to look under on Parker just because the Brewers are not striking out. Parker's not a great strikeout pitcher.
You have some great first 5 numbers as well.
Yes.
Let's get into this, what you have with Logan Webb. We were running that game down in the previous segment as well against the Dodgers. He's awesome at home at night, but maybe not in the first 5?
No, Mitch. 7 of 9 home starts he has not led through the first 5 innings, and the 2 starts that he led 5 innings came against 2 powerhouses, the Rockies and Athletics. So when you look at Webb, I gotta think, even though the Dodgers have had their struggles, that maybe this is to take LA 5. May has not had good first 5 numbers the whole season, but he's pitched better of late, and you got to think the Dodgers will be somewhat motivated here. And the last time these teams played, Webb was a huge dog against Yamamoto. Webb led 5-1 through 5 in L.A. back on June 13th. Now flipping it to San Francisco tonight. I got to believe that the Dodgers come out and they play well early. I would look at L.A. in the first 5 innings.
Oh, in the first 5. Okay, it's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Our guest is Kevin Rogers. He's with PrizePicks. You can follow him on X at RogersPicks. Good matchup tonight in terms of the teams. Cubs are playing in Yankee Stadium against the Yanks. Rodon goes against Flexen. What are you showing here with Carlos Rodon?
So far this year, Mitch, at home through the first 5 innings, he's 8-1. But what's interesting is the Yankees are 5-4 in those games. So he has led through 5 innings, and the bullpen has blown some of those games. Ooh. But at least Rodon has done well through the first 5. 8-1, and I think I mentioned this on the show a few weeks ago, Mitch, that the Cubs against left-handers have not been good in the first 5 innings. Against Liberatore of St. Louis, they trailed 3-2. Against Cantillo of the Guardians was scoreless. Against Valdez, they didn't get a run. Against Walter of the Astros, got 1 run. Against Liberatore, got 1 run. And that's the last 5 starts. So what is that? 4 runs in 5 games against lefties in the first 5. So I would probably take a shot with the Yankees, go maybe minus the half a run in the first 5 tonight. All
right, very good. And probably expecting a little bit of regression here for Chris Flexen as well for the Cubs. His ERA is below 1 on the year. And also you have great numbers on this Royals-Mets matchup tonight.
They're good numbers, and it doesn't really have any convincing facts. That's the problem, is that the Royals, in their last 9 home openers in the first 5, they're 1-7-1. They were 0-7-1 before leading the Pirates back a few nights ago. And also Michael Wacha, 0-3, his last 3 starts in the first 5. Kansas City's been outscored 12-1 in those games. But the Mets are 2-6 in their last 8 road openers in the first 5. So pick your poison there with the Royals and the Mets.
What else stands out in terms of streaky teams with K-props? We mentioned the Blue Jays one where opposing pitchers are 11-0 to the under in their last 11 games. You brought up the Brewers as well. What other numbers should the audience know about?
Arizona is 10-2 to the over on the K-props opposing pitchers. Now, it was 10-1 going to last night, and Randy Vasquez, who was one of the worst strikeout pitchers, went over because it was such a low total last night. So he went over on his total. So really, I mean, Arizona's still at 10-2. Also, the Giants at 10-2. Minnesota at 10-2. They face Paul Skeens tonight at home. Seattle 12-5 to the over. And they face Tarek Skubal. So some of these teams are facing, high volume strikeout pitchers, and we'll see if those continue. But a lot of over streaks. The only two good under streaks are Toronto and Milwaukee right now.
Yeah. How about WNBA? It's a small card tonight, but more games over the weekend as well. And you've been tracking this in the first quarter specifically in this league. And what do you have for that sport?
Well, we'll see if the Fever get on the dream. But the one thing I'll say about Indiana, Mitch, is that they start well. And Caitlin Clark, again in the lineup after she came back against Golden State. They lost that game a few nights ago. They've won their last 5 in the first quarter when she's in the lineup. The dream.
All right,
no,
yeah.
Tough connect.
All
Win
right,
some, lose some. Sometimes it's going to happen. But I can't believe last 4 games, she's averaging 11 points per game, and she's 3 of 28 from 3. It's incredible.
So how much of that is the lingering injury?
I guess, yeah.
It's got to be, right?
Yep. Shooting 29% from the floor as well.
Yeah.
It's been ugly here since she came back. And then you were on this as well. Last Friday, after they got shut down and did nothing in the first 5, that Atlanta was on a 1-8-1 first 5 run with a total of 4 runs scored.
Oh, that's right.
4. So now it's 2-10-3 last 15. And then Kevin mentioned Liberatore, who's going. He's $1.20 against the Braves at home. I mean, they're a bad team.
They're bad, yeah.
And they've won his last 4 starts, St. Louis, and he's 3-0 personally with a 2.2 ERA. He's $1.20 at home.
I know.
I'm missing something here.
Well, honestly, the number has not been adjusted enough, I think, for these Braves games, right? Because we're still thinking that they're going to be a machine.
I'll talk about it coming. They're horrible ROI. They're right there with the second, third worst team in the league.
Sure.
How bad they've been.
Yeah. I mean, on paper, going into the year, they had, they were right there, top of the odds board to win the National League, that division, obviously, and to win the World Series. And I've been calling it this week a throwaway year for the Braves.
Yeah.
That said, I was talking to Mike Palm about this after the show last night. Odds are now trickling out for the home run derby. Good point from the maestro. How about Acuna? I know it's a small number. If you can find around 5, maybe 6-1, if you can find that number, I think it might be worth a bet. He's super fresh compared to these other guys. Hasn't played that many games. And he's crushing the baseball.
Can't we get Canseco in? Can't we just, you know what I'm saying? The dunk contest is all about how well do you dunk. It doesn't matter what you've done on the field or in your career.
Right.
It should have been Canseco, McGuire, remember Joey Meyer? It should have been those guys every single year, Rob Deere. Why don't we go out and just get the guys with the beer bellies and just say, I want to see if you can hit the thing 500 on a regular basis.
Oh, you want the long, okay.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. I want the Sammy Sosa loaded bats that
Why
break.
not? Why not?
Hitting at 580 feet at Miller Park.
I'd like to see McGuire with an aluminum bat.
Yeah, sure. Win-lose up next. The beats go on, and the beats go on in Major League Baseball, and this is one of the worst beats of the entire year.
Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays.
Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Pauly Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
This happened yesterday while we were on the air. Everyone should have won. Summer League, Timberwolves 4.5 up to 7. 7.5 in some spots. They won by 7. Kings plus 1.5 to a 2.5 point favorite, won by 3. WNBA, Mystics plus 1 to minus 3.5. No Wilson for the Aces. They were down big at halftime, won and covered. Incredible. Most runs. Texas again, 15-1. This is every day at DK and Will Hill. Highest scoring game. Rangers Angels, 11-1. And the Yankees have played 11 overs in a row. Down the street, on the Strip. World Series of Poker main event. $10 million, first place prize. 9,700 people got in, third most in history. They're down to 170 people left. 4 women. You imagine if a woman won? It'd be incredible. Or a deep run. Celine Dion's son is still in.
Oh, beautiful.
They're talking about it. Will she show up and be on the rail? And then Sean Deeb's nemesis, the guy he hates, William Cassou, he's second in chips. And he made a deep run, I think, 9 years ago. If this guy makes the final table, Mitch,
can't watch it?
He is the most polarizing poker player, non-stop talking.
Jimmy Gold?
On steroids.
Oh, boy.
What's his name?
Top.
Najad, Eli Najad, I think his name is, and Nick Schulman, who do the coverage on Poker Go, say, I get paid as a commentator, I get paid to talk. I don't talk a fraction of what this guy does. It's nonstop talking at the table. They asked the gal who sat to sit next to him, it was the longest month and a half of my life. Being facetious, it was a day. But it's just, if there's stuff on there, Poker News on X stuff, you'll see it all over social media. It's just, speech play, he calls it. But it actually works because a lot of times he'll talk his opponent into doing something stupid, whether it's call, fold, whatever. And I saw it last night as I was watching. But, if you call, I show both. If I call, you call one, you go just nonstop talking. This guy.
What does speech play mean?
It's allowed, but talking about what you have and talking about what about the turn, the river, everything. Yeah, he's talking the whole hand while it's going on and while you're betting back and forth. He calls it speech play.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, well, it's something. It's polarizing. He's second in chips. I just imagine if this guy makes the final table. Subscribe, be part of the team, vsin.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Pauly Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in. We'll put you on. This guy has his flight delayed, pushed back, so he went back to the Venetian. He's playing $2 Ultimate X, $60 a push, up top, 12 times, aces and a kicker, 48 grand.
That's pretty good.
Come on.
It's pretty fun.
Look at that.
Yep.
And he held dealt 2 aces. Comes ace, ace, 3. Incredible. We've seen this before where the dog was laying on the couch with the watermelon. Look at this dog that's infatuated with the watermelon. Like it's a toy or a baby or a ball, how he loves to play with it. And that's another. I've seen there's several of these on Instagram. How these couple dogs like the watermelon, and this guy, it's like his prized possession here.
You can't crack the code on this one.
No doubt. Absolutely. What do you think of this?
He's not a hippo.
Yeah, right. He won't eat it. He'll just play with it. Automatic car awnings. Is this Tokyo?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
I saw this.
Look at this. Remote control to try to beat the heat and eat it out here. Okay, after I'm ready to leave. Okay.
Oh.
And then it goes up. Yeah. It just folds right back in. No problem. And when you park and you want to beat the heat, you just hit the button and it comes out like a little canopy, tent, whatever, and it goes over. No problem.
Oh, my God. That's amazing technology.
Yeah. And it's just all the various cars there.
Good call by you. Out here, southwest part of the country, Arizona, any of it, my God, that'd be huge.
Yes. Lose some. Lakers, Mavs over. 176.5 up to 179.5. Kings, Sixers under. 177.5 to 173.5. How about that game? Like what, 111 to 70 something? Yeah. Nets plus 4.5 to -2. Lost by 9. Can you believe we talked about this earlier in the week? And it's happened to other people, and then bam. It happens this week. WFAA TV. The kid was at the mall, whatever it is, shopping area, and he jumped in and fit in the claw machine. And he got obviously caught, and they had to call the cops and the paramedics, and they got him out. He's safe. But can you believe the timing? After we showed the picture, and our friend of ours runs a restaurant, and the kid got in there, and they had to break the glass.
There's a guy walking right by.
That's when he notices it. Yeah,
he notices it, okay.
Because the kid starts crawling in. He got his attention.
That's an employee.
What are you doing? Yeah, the guy, the security, whatever he is, and he notices the kid's going in there, and he fits, and they realize it, and they have to move it then. You get him out of there, and then try to break the glass and everything. Can you believe it happens? It's all over social media now after we talk about it.
I can, and here's why. This is the part that I cannot believe. It's way more common than we think. Again, when you brought this up earlier in the week, immediately emails, texts coming in, tweets.
I retweeted. The guy, guy happened to him.
We had 5 or 6 different people in a 2-minute window of time say it happened to me, it happened to my kid, whatever. I know somebody. It happens that often? I thought this is like 1 in a million.
Yeah.
Evidently, it's not.
And also, you have to understand the small area they have to navigate to get in there, which doesn't seem humanly possible, but it is. And I at Pauly Howard on X, I retweeted the guy with the kid. The kid was in the ball machine. The kid just said, "Oh, peekaboo, there he is. He snuck in," and eventually he crawled back out before the cops arrived. Nuts. And a vicious beat. A moose in New York. Mariners $1.15 and under 9.5. Woo with the no-hitter into the 8th. 5-0 Mariners. The Yankees get a couple runs, then they tie it in the 9th and walk it off in the 10th. Mariners and under becomes Yankees and over. 6-5. As I said earlier, they became the second team in the expansion era to be no-hit through 7 and down 5+ runs come back to win.
I hope people understand how vicious this is. Forget the over for a second. Because we said yesterday, fishy number here, how is Brian Wu down to like minus 107? Like that number never made any sense. And then he staked to a 5-0 lead. And oh, by the way, he has a no-hitter into the 8th. You can put that on the list with any of the other bad beats we've talked about this year. That's right there with them.
Yep.
You got to be absolutely sick to your stomach if you had the Mariners last night.
Win some, lose some, brought to you by Sharp Plays. Sharp Plays already there. They don't follow the market before the line moves. They help shape it. You're not going to outmuscle billion-dollar books or full-time sharps all by yourself. With the Sharp Plays, you don't have to. Backed by advanced AI, connected to trusted insider sources, Sharp Plays delivers the edge that serious bettors count on every day. Free betting reports, real-time alerts, market-moving insights straight to your inbox or X feed. Not some summer side hustle. He's been with us since day one and been doing it since 2011. We had the T-shirts, Mr. Poison. That's all Jeff and Sharp Plays. Documented results, public logs, transparent receipts. SharpPlays.com. Trusted by pros. Watched by the books. Visit SharpPlays.com. Stay ahead of the line. I was going to say, last night, I was watching this. The guy's got 8 million chips. He's the chip leader. He goes on the dinner break. He comes back from dinner. He flops, trips. He had 3 9s. He goes all in. Guy calls. He has 3 8s, 3 aces. And then the next hand, it's straight against a flush. He out in 2 hands.
It's the same guy?
He got eliminated in 2. He was the chip leader.
Okay.
8 million chips. He comes back from dinner within 2 hands. He's out of the tournament entirely.
Oh, my God. Wow.
Crazy. And that guy that knocked him out with the 3 aces is now the chip leader. And that's just madness how it can change like that.
My baseball bets have been pathetic for 2 months now. Horrible summer for me betting this sport. And last night I took a shot. It was like, part of a handicap, but also a number. I had under 17.5 outs for Brian Wu, a loser. It was plus 130. Other books had it like plus 110, so it was just like grabbing a good number on that as well. So I'm watching that here at Circa after the game, after our show's over with. He is in deep trouble in the first inning. He walked the first 2 batters. The pitch count's already in the low 20s. Judges at the plate. Like, he can do damage right now, and we're talking about the Yankees can maybe make his pitch count get into the 30s or maybe touch 40 in the first inning. He can't, and you could tell he was nervous because he was all over the map. And I talked about that yesterday, how New York doesn't treat certain pitchers that well. Mike Palm, good observation. Mizorowski, it wasn't at Yankee Stadium, but it was in New York. His one bad start against the Mets. Shohei Ohtani has had a couple of absolute stink bombs in Yankee Stadium. So this kid survived the first and then was on total cruise control, and they can't win that game? That's absolutely befuddling to me.
Ridiculous. I think it carries over to today, too.
I don't disagree.
And you got to face Scooble as well. Game 1 of a doubleheader, 4-2 Guardians in the 8th. They've won 7 in a row against the White Sox, so if you want to come back and play them in the nightcap, you can do that as well. And I believe Ramirez hit another home run.
If he did, boy, he's been super hot here.
Yeah. I think that'd be 4 in 5 games, I think, if that was him. So,
I think they had back-to-back home runs like right away in the second inning, I think, too. The Guardians had to get on the board, so they've smacked quite a few then today. 7 straight, you said, going into this game?
They beat the White Sox 7 in a row.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And Cannon, he has bad numbers against Cleveland as well.
All right, UFC Nashville with Lou Finocchiaro. That's up next. Are we going down swinging with Derek Lewis as a dog one more time? We'll get his best bets on the card next here on VSiN.